Have you ever felt a subtle chill in your relationship? A growing distance that you can't quite put your finger on? Sometimes love fades so quietly that the warning signs are almost imperceptible. In today's video, we're exploring 11 silent signs that may indicate your partner no longer loves you. These are not the dramatic arguments or explosive breakups, but the quiet, almost invisible signals that speak volumes about a fading connection. Stay with me because by the end of this video, you'll have the clarity to recognize these red flags and understand what they mean for your emotional well-being. Sign 1. Diminished eye contact. When love is thriving, there's a spark in the way your partner looks at you. If you notice that he rarely makes eye contact or quickly looks away when you try to connect, it might be his way of emotionally distancing himself. This lack of sustained eye contact is a silent signal that the intimacy you once shared is fading. For example, recall how, in happier times, his eyes would light up every time you spoke. Now, if his gaze seems fleeting or distant, it's a sign that the emotional connection may be weakening. Sign 2. Lack of physical affection. Physical touch, hugs, kisses, gentle caresses, is a language of love. If you've noticed a significant drop in these affectionate gestures, it can be a quiet sign that his feelings are no longer as warm as they once were. When physical affection becomes sporadic or seems forced, it's often because the natural desire to connect is diminishing. Think back to the days when a simple touch would make you feel loved. Now, if that touch has become rare or mechanical, it could indicate that his emotions are retreating. Sign 3. Minimal communication. A loving relationship thrives on open communication. If your partner has become less interested in sharing details about his day or in engaging in meaningful conversations, it might indicate that he is emotionally checked out. When conversations become superficial or one-sided, it's a clear sign that the emotional dialogue is fading. Reflect on how you once shared your hopes, dreams, and even mundane details with each other. A decline in these exchanges suggests that his heart may no longer be in the conversation. Sign 4. Avoidance of conflict resolution. Conflict is natural, but what matters is the willingness to resolve it together. If your partner avoids addressing issues or seems indifferent when problems arise, it may signal a lack of investment in the relationship. This avoidance is not about avoiding argument, it's a way to avoid dealing with the emotional weight of the relationship. Imagine bringing up a small issue and receiving a dismissive, "It's not a big deal," instead of a willingness to discuss and resolve. That indifference is a sign that his emotional commitment is waning. Sign 5. No future talk. When love is vibrant, both partners naturally include each other in their future plans. If your partner has stopped discussing future events or making long-term plans, it might be a sign that he no longer sees you as a permanent part of his life. The absence of future talk can reveal that his focus has shifted away from building a shared life together. For instance, if he used to talk about vacations, holidays, or even small plans like dinner dates in the coming weeks, and now he avoids these topics altogether, it's a major red flag. Sign 6. Emotional withdrawal. One of the most telling signs of fading love is when your partner seems to retreat emotionally. If his responses have become curt or indifferent and he no longer shares his inner thoughts, it's a strong indicator of emotional withdrawal. This isn't about being quiet occasionally, it's about a consistent pattern of detachment. Consider how he used to confide in you about his dreams or insecurities. Now, if he keeps his feelings to himself or responds with monosyllables, it's a signal that his heart is closing off. Sign 7. Increased criticism. Constructive criticism can strengthen a relationship, but if your partner's comments have shifted from supportive to consistently negative, it's a sign of emotional distancing. Frequent, unexplained criticism, especially about things that once didn't bother him, can be a defense mechanism masking his fading affection. When every conversation starts to feel like an unwarranted critique rather than a loving dialogue, it's a sign that his connection with you is diminishing. Sign 8. Lack of support. In a healthy relationship, partners are each other's rock. If your partner has stopped offering support, whether during personal challenges or day-to-day struggles, it may indicate that his emotional investment has dwindled. His absence during crucial moments speaks louder than any words of love. Imagine facing a difficult situation and feeling completely alone, even though you're in a relationship. His lack of support is a stark reminder that his love might be fading. Sign 9. Routine over romance. Romance isn't just about grand gestures, it's found in spontaneity and small acts of love. If your relationship has devolved into a predictable, monotonous routine with no spark of romance or spontaneity, it might be a sign that his passion has cooled off. The magic of love often lies in the unexpected and delightful surprises that now seem to be missing. Think about the little surprises, spontaneous dates, or affectionate notes that once brightened your days. Their absence can be a clear indicator of a waning emotional connection. Sign 10. Withholding compliments and appreciation. Compliments and words of appreciation build intimacy and reinforce love. If you've noticed that your partner rarely compliments you or acknowledges your efforts, it could be a silent indicator that his admiration has diminished. A lack of verbal affirmation often mirrors a decrease in emotional investment. Reflect on how he once made you feel special with thoughtful words. If those moments have become rare, it's a sign that the emotional bond is weakening. Sign 11. You feel alone even when together. Perhaps the most heartbreaking sign is the feeling of loneliness in the midst of togetherness. If you constantly feel isolated, unvalued, or emotionally neglected, even when your partner is physically present, it's a powerful signal that the connection is no longer there. Your emotional well-being is paramount, and feeling alone in a relationship is a clear red flag. If you often find yourself longing for emotional connection and comfort, it's a strong indication that the love you once shared has faded. Conclusion. So, have you noticed these silent signs in your relationship? If several of these points resonate with you, it might be time to reflect on what's really going on. You deserve a relationship where love flows freely and both partners are emotionally present. Don't ignore these subtle warnings, they're your heart's way of telling you something needs to change.